Hi, this is Bruce On from Partisia Blockchain Foundation. I wanted to do a really quick video again to describe a little bit more in detail the roadmap item number 2 that we highlighted yesterday. Now, the roadmap item was development tools, right? And at a high level, it might not seem very exciting, but I wanted to share with you why we, as a team, feel that this is an extremely important step in having our chain be adopted. So as you saw in our interoperability and scalability articles and videos, our architecture is very different. Our tokenomics is very different. Our architecture is very different. It really is designed to both be collaborative between the chains, but also be able to scale out much further than what other blockchains are capable of. And as a result of that, our entire architecture was created from the ground up. It's not an EVM chain. It's not like any other chain. And as a result of that, there are many considerations that a developer has to recognize in order for them to develop successfully in our chain. So it's not like an EVM chain where everybody knows Solidity and everybody knows exactly how an EVM chain kind of works, so they can develop it very easily, right? So, as an example, our sharding architecture is that each individual shard is its own blockchain, and as a result of that, there are advantages that you get, but there are also development considerations that you have to look out for, which is different than what you would need to, what you have in other chains. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the different items that we listed down and kind of give you a little bit of a little bit more detail around why we think that that's very important. So as an example, the DEX contracts that we're creating, it's like a template for any other creators to be able to use those smart contracts as templates to build a DEX on our chain. So because of our scalability architecture where transactions require 2 steps, it brings a huge advantage for DEXs because you're now not limited to a single transaction or a single swap, and everybody else has to wait, right? You could actually have multiple different transactions or swaps that are occurring in each shard, and so we're kind of basically multi-processing those transactions. But as a result of that, you really have to understand how those transactions work in order for you to develop properly. So to make things easier, we're creating a smart contract template that anybody can use to both learn as well as use to layer on top of UI and create a very simple DEX. So things like a test framework or gas estimation tool. So, as I mentioned earlier, our gas is payable in BYOC, which is also very unique. But also because of the sharding architecture, you have 2 steps. So each step in the transaction requires its own gas. So it becomes a little bit more difficult to estimate gas. So we're creating a gas estimation tool for any developer that's launching on our chain to be able to estimate exactly how much gas you really need, right? It makes it a lot easier for them. So things like test framework and CLI, those are general nice to have tools for development. The testing tool will kind of give you like a DevOps kind of a process, right? CI/CD kind of a process where you're continuously developing, testing, and then iterating that cycle very easily. The CLI interface will allow developers to batch their testing and their implementation, so that you're not stuck to a UI. They're going around clicking for every different function that it has to do. They can create a script, run it in the CLI, and be able to automate their process. So a lot of these different tools are really geared towards making adoption in our chain easier. And that's the point, right? We want to be able to allow for developers to be able to make this amazing technology easily deployable. So we're really excited about these sets of tools that we're creating. We'll continue to create more. Some will be a little bit smaller, some will be larger, some may not be in this announcement, but it may help development, push development forward. So in my opinion, I think these are great tools to have, and our hope is that the developers that are developing on our chain also welcome these tools. It'll help drive adoption on our side and help us to be a stronger and a more useful chain. So thank you guys for listening.